One of the most fascinating things about the Star Wars community and fandom is the obsession of things being woke and calling the franchise dead. It's just so interesting seeing the more extreme side of the fandom classify things as woke and calling the franchise dead, because this all stemmed when my Outlaws video came out and a lot of people commented on that. I just want to say thank you for everyone that did comment on it. If you're watching this video, thank you so much. We created a discussion that a lot of people had, which was fun, but a few comments that I saw where this game was being woke, which I find pretty weird because I don't think the game is woke. And I think using the term woke, especially nowadays in the year 2024, is pretty silly because I don't think it really matters anymore. Because calling this female character in Outlaws looking like a man, calling that woke is very obscure because, like, you know, the game hasn't come out yet. And I'm not trying to reiterate the points I made in that video, but it's just calling one thing that you don't like then calling it woke, it's just absurd. I remember when, you know, we're talking about video games here, when Jedi Survivor came out, I remember I got a comment, maybe I'll find it, but I got a comment saying that, like, all the female characters in that game are very overpowered and the main character Cal is weak in comparison, and calling the game woke because of that. It's just, that, I mean, it's not true, but it's just, that's the extent of the fandom or the extreme side of it. I'm not classifying the entire fandom, because it's not true. Because not everyone calls Star Wars woke, not everyone calls Star Wars dead. Going to the term now to saying that Star Wars is dead, no it's not. Star Wars is more alive than ever, but what I think people are talking about when they say Star Wars is dead, is that they're talking about Star Wars to them is dead. That what George Lucas brought to the table, what their version of Star Wars is, not what Disney wants, not what Dave Filoni wants. Because ultimately what Star Wars is now isn't so much what Disney wants, it's more what Dave Filoni wants, because he is controlling all these things, and, you know, whether you like that or not, it's totally up to you, and so that's why the term saying Star Wars is dead is your version of it, not in general. Now, maybe saying, Keith, I saw Amiga in the thumbnail, where is this going? Why are you talking about this other stuff? Well, I'm going to get to that in a second, or actually right now. So, everything Star Wars, according to this extreme side of fandom, says that the live action stuff is woke, that the video games are woke, that the comic books are woke, because High Republic stuff that came out a couple years ago, people are saying that was woke. So if everything's woke, then what isn't? What is woke? Because the only thing that isn't woke are the animated shows. I've never seen anyone say that the animated shows are woke, which is insane to think about, because when we look at Omega, see, there we go, Omega, the Bad Batch, that should be a trigger thing for people to say that's woke. But no one says that's woke. Omega, the Bad Batch, is the main character of the show. The Bad Batch should be about the Bad Batch, but instead it's about Omega, this girl that's introduced in the show. She's the main character. The whole entire show is focused on her only, and not so much the struggle of the Bad Batch. Yes, it's there a little bit, but most of the show is focused on Omega. So why don't people call the Bad Batch a woke show? Now, maybe people do, and I'm just not seeing it. But I've never, especially for this season of the Bad Batch, Season 3, no one said anything negative about this season of the Bad Batch. No one. It's all been positive stuff. All the criticism is about the show itself, not so much the outside influence. Which is crazy, because I'm under the impression that the people that call everything woke in Star Wars, and people who say that Star Wars is dead, they don't watch animated shows. But I feel like the extreme side of the Star Wars fandom don't watch anime shows, because to them, the anime shows are meant for the kids, meant for the little ones, not for all ages, which, you know, most of the anime shows from Star Wars are meant for all ages, for the most part. There's like one or two that isn't, but, yeah, for the most part, most of the anime shows are meant for all ages, and so you would think that people would call Bad Batch woke, or that would attract more people like that, but no. Apparently not, because animation has a stigma that's meant for kids, which I think saved not only the Bad Batch, but all the animated shows from ever receiving that woke criticism, because when I hear something that's woke, it does put a downer on things, and I hate using the word woke, but it says when people call certain things woke, it does put a downer on, you know, like for the Acolyte, people are calling the show woke, and it's just, it bums me out, because I'm not really, you know, any excitement for it. It's just thrown out the window. And the same goes for Outlaw. It's like all this criticism for the game isn't really fun. Like, it's not fun talking about this criticism and all the people in backlash, because it's just annoying. And that's why the anime shows are such a refresher, because they're finally a place where people aren't calling the show woke and people are saying that Star Wars isn't dead. The audience for the Bad Batch, all the anime shows, including like, you know, all the other short form content for animation, so like all animation stuff, no one's saying that's woke, and it's so refreshing. If people are talking about the actual content in shows, talking about how excited they are for future projects, in animation stuff, and it's such a refresher. And I love being part of this community, for the animated side of the community, because it's so refreshing hearing positive feedback from, you know, people reviewing episodes. You know, it's such a refresher, and it's just a change of pace. And I know when the Acolyte comes out, that's just going to change, and every episode's going to be criticized. And you're going to have, like, you know, Geeks and Gamers and Critical Drinker just bashing it. They're not doing that for the Bad Batch. Nope, that's meant for kids. That's the only good thing about that stigma of animation is meant for kids. That's the only good thing about it. That when you actually have a good show, it's actually a good show. No outside forces can really put a negative downer on it. You know, the extreme side of the fandom will never touch the Bad Batch or any anime show because they think it's meant for kids. And for them, they're missing out. But it's probably a good thing because they're probably just going to go on Twitter and call it woke. Because the second they see Omega giving orders to the Bad Batch, they're like, nah, that's woke. But thank God they're not watching the show, because I never seen a comment calling the Bad Batch woke. And thank God for that. But I'm going to end it there. If you guys enjoyed, hit like, comment, subscribe. Do you agree with what I have to say on that? Because I'm going to go now, so goodbye, everyone.